You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy. Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.
This afternoon on Capitol Hill, cheers, clashes, and a colossal piece of legislation now heading to President Trump's desk. The big, beautiful bill has passed the House. Thanks so much for joining us today on the Mike Lindell Show. I'm Vanessa Broussard. We have team coverage beginning with Allison Steinberg live at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. Allison, what can you tell us?
Hey, Vanessa. Yes, it's been a very exciting, very eventful day here on the Hill with the big, beautiful bill finally passing after a lot of drama. It's been a long road to get here. As we know, the one big, beautiful bill passed in the House initially by a very, very thin, razor-thin margin, went on to the Senate where a lot of changes were made after it came out of the Senate. It didn't really look quite like it did when it initially came in from the House. So lots of changes made in the Senate. I was thinking yesterday, because I was hearing a lot of the fiscal conservatives, House Republicans from the Freedom Caucus were not happy with the changes that were made in the Senate. So I was hearing last night that there were 10 holdouts that were going to be a no vote on the big, beautiful bill. But so much has changed in the last 24 hours because last night and early this morning, all of these 10 holdouts spent a lot of time meeting with President Trump, talking with him, airing their grievances, going through all of the concerns that they had with the bill, because yes, there are some things in this bill that are maybe not so great. This is why historically, conservatives have preferred single issue bills. And I think that's, another topic that we should stay focused on and perhaps get back to in the future. But for the time being, it is the big, beautiful bill. And as of now, as we know now, the 10 that were initially going to hold out and vote no were won over, and we got the bill passed through the House. So it was a 218 to 214 vote. There were still 2 Republicans that voted nay. Those were Thomas Massie and Warren Davis. Those 2 were not won over, apparently. We knew that Thomas Massie probably wouldn't be, so that's not much of a surprise there. Warren Davis, Warren Davidson, I hadn't heard much about him. So anyhow, regardless of these 2 nay votes from Republicans, the bill is now passed, so that's good news. There's a lot of good in this bill, and it is now moving to the president's desk, where it is set to be signed tomorrow on America's birthday. I'm hearing that the president's going to sign the big, beautiful bill into law Friday, July 4th at 5 p.m. Eastern during the White House celebration for July 4th. So it's going to be a glorious, patriotic day tomorrow.
Yes, it is. And Allison, President Trump gave Congress this July 4th deadline, and what a perfect time for this to be signed into law. It's now heading to the president's desk, as you just mentioned. But going back, Allison, this was weeks of fiery debates, last minute negotiations. President Trump spent the day yesterday on the phone making calls to get this thing passed. Even though we have the majority in the House, he was still having to put some work on a few of the Republicans to get this passed. And we talk about the left and how they tried to stall this, and it's just been weeks of debate going back and forth.
It really has, and there's been a lot of differing opinions on this, and sort of this sway of people feeling a certain way at one point, and then they got some provision taken out, and then now they're all for it. So it's been a lot to keep track of. Lots of these various provisions hidden throughout the bill, like the AI provision. I was really focused on that for a while. Thankfully, thank you, Jesus, that one got nixed completely. That was a good thing that happened in the Senate. They took the AI provision out entirely, but then also in the Senate, they added back Medicaid for illegal aliens. Congressman Ralph Norman, who joined me about an hour ago here in the Rotunda, told me that there's something in there regarding transgender surgery. So I hadn't heard anything about that. which again, I would like to point out that is the issue with these massive bills, is that it gives an opportunity to inject all of this other stuff that isn't really necessary. The main takeaway of the big beautiful bill is biggest tax cuts in history, extending the 2017 President Trump tax cuts that were enacted back then. If those were to be rescinded, it would be devastating for Americans. Of course, we also have no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, greater security measures and funding for the border, as well as unleashing of American energy. So there's a lot of good in the bill. It's just there's certain things that were sort of hidden throughout, that some of the bad things got taken out, some of them got put back in when it went through the Senate. But ultimately, I think Republicans had to come together and unify to ultimately set the differences aside and do what was asked of them by our president, who spent quite a bit of time rallying the troops, getting everyone together and united on this. So as we saw, he did a pretty good job. I mean, we had 10 holdouts yesterday, and that got narrowed down to only 2. As I mentioned, only 2 Republicans did not vote in favor of the big beautiful bill. So it's been quite a journey. But I think another point to mention here is that the Democrats have just been hysterical throughout the entire process. There was not a single yes vote from the Democrats. They have been very firm and adamantly against this from the beginning. In fact, there was about a 9-hour temper tantrum this morning by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. He droned on and on and on for 9 hours, setting a new record for the longest speech on the House floor in history. This was done in an attempt to try to derail the efforts to try to delay the vote, which really was pointless because we all knew it was inevitable. It was gonna pass. So he just wasted 9 hours of his life and everyone else's that tuned into that mess. But while we're talking about him, let's take a listen to some of what Hakeem Jeffries had to say this morning.
Speaker, that's not what this country should be all about. Manu wasn't the only one. The only American citizen who's been targeted by the deportation machine, a deportation machine that will be unleashed on steroids by this one big ugly bill. We know that, in fact, is the case. That's not hyperbole.
So hilarious. I guess he was, so exhausted from talking so long that he ended up making a great case for the big, beautiful bill with that deportation machine mentioned there. I think that is certainly something that MAGA is all in favor of. So I'm trying to, find the issue with that. But I thought that was hilarious. He was also talking so long. At one point, he said that he supports deporting violent felons, which is interesting because last I checked, they were devoting their lives to bringing back Kilmar Brega Garcia into the country. So nothing was really adding up. It's like he was just going on and on as long as he could, filling as much time as humanly possible for the sake of doing it with really no purpose other than to be obnoxious and try to waste everyone's time. But it proved to be, a useless task because in the end, there was actually a very funny tweet from J.D. Vance. If we have that, we can pull it up. J.D. Vance said that there was a couple congressmen who were undecided on the bill, and then they heard Hakeem Jeffries' performance, and now they're a firm yes. So thank you, I guess, to Hakeem Jeffries for finalizing the secure yes vote for the big beautiful bill, right?
There you have it. Who would have thought? But yes, maybe he got a little tired there after speaking for so long, Allison. But just a great day. You have this bill that's totaling $1.7 trillion. It includes major investments in infrastructure. It boosts defense spending, which we need. And we also need stricter new immigration policies to be enacted. And so that will allow some of that to take place at our southern border. So it's everything that the MAGA movement and conservatives voted for. But like you said, there's still a few things in there that snuck into the bill that shouldn't be there. But we'll just have to work on that. But overall, a huge win for President Trump and the conservative movement.
Yeah, it sure is a big win. It feels pretty good, just being here in the rotunda. I've run into a lot of Republican members of Congress who seem very happy and they're very relieved they finally get to go home and enjoy the weekend. They've had a couple all-nighters because of all of the voting and the whole process to get this moving forward. So I think they're relieved to have this done. I think they feel confident that they voted in favor of a bill that the president very strongly supports. And, I think we have to remember, I don't think, though there are some things within the bill that maybe are not the best, we have to remember President Trump does have America's best interest at heart. So I think that he would not be so adamant about pushing this forward if it were not to the benefit of all Americans. I think this is going to be huge. I think it's going to be life-changing for people who depend on tips for their income to, pay for day-to-day expenses. I think that's major. I think no tax on Social Security and overtime is huge. I know I would have loved that in my early years working overtime. No tax would have been nice. So I think this is very exciting, and I think it'll really inspire and hype up a whole new generation that maybe, isn't really attuned to politics. Perhaps they will see what's happened here and be grateful for this change that will be implemented to bring wealth and prosperity back to America. As we know, that is the president's goal. He campaigned on it. He's fulfilling his promises, and we are seeing that all in the one big beautiful bill. So it is exciting, and I think it's going to be a great day here tomorrow on July 4th when he signs that bill into law. I don't know what I'm going to do, though, Vanessa. It's going to be pretty boring here on the Hill now. It's now that the bill is done and the drama's over, I don't know what's next. So we'll see.
Oh, there's always drama, Allison. There will be something on Monday. I can promise you. There's always something going on inside that building. So no lack of news there. Let's talk about the fake news while we're at it and the big beautiful bill. For weeks while this back and forth has been going on, all we've heard were lies from the left, lies from the mainstream media, and President Trump and Republicans coming out trying to debunk those lies that they're spewing.
Yeah, they really haven't. And the Trump team has been working hard at this. We've seen, every opportunity they get to rebuttal against a fake media outlet or a news post, claiming something. They do. They are just, they've been so incredible on staying so on top of this. I've seen so many great responses to the Democrats who've been hyping up the fear mongering, ramping it up at all given opportunities. In being here on Capitol Hill, I've had the opportunity to stand next to and hear a couple of them speak, and they have just been on another level. I mean, there was a speech from AOC saying that passing this bill is ultimately making a deal with the devil, that, this is going to kill Americans passing this bill. I mean, this couldn't be further from the truth. We know this bill is, again, bringing wealth and prosperity back to America. It's keeping the country safe through the border security measures. It's bringing, money back into the American taxpayers' pockets. What would the country be like if this bill didn't pass? We would have a massive tax increase. That would be terrible for every American. And so the fact that they've fear-mongered people into thinking that these are legitimate concerns is just ridiculous. It really makes me upset. This morning I heard Hakeem Jeffries, in part of his 9-hour-long saga, say that he read these stories from all of these alleged people. I don't know if they were real or not, but he read these supposed stories highlighting these people who, talk about how they've had such a hard life and they've been so dependent on SNAP benefits and Medicaid to just be able to live their lives. The cost of living has become so expensive in America that they can't afford to feed their families unless they get these free government handouts. And I just think that's ridiculous. I mean, they're taking the wrong approach here. Democrats need to reframe their thinking and realize that anyone that's living off of government handouts is unfortunately, not getting the most out of life. I think if people were to step back from the handouts and actually try to push themselves to another level and be successful and prosperous, they could become less dependent on the government for handouts. No one should have to depend on that. And now, don't get me wrong, of course, people fall on hard times. And, it's wonderful when, situations like that are there for people that really need them, but these situations will still be there for people that really need them, and that is not taken out of the bill. But the Democrats have totally smeared and skewed what is in this bill. The Medicaid portion of the bill is only going to be for people who work 20 hours or more a week. If you are able-bodied and can, then you will still receive the benefits. If not, well, if you can't work, then you will still receive the benefits if you're not physically able. But if you are, you should be contributing to society. So I think we need to get back to a healthy frame of mind where we're all contributing instead of just sitting around being lazy, unemployed, waiting for government handouts. There's a lot of work to be done here. Maybe people will start catching on soon.
I hope so. Allison, good to see you. Thanks for that report. Republicans calling today and this bill passage a hard-fought victory. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Continuing our coverage now, let's bring in Chad Prather with the Chad Prather Show. Chad, good to see you. Thanks for coming on with us today.
Hi, Vanessa. Good to see you.
What a great way to start the Independence Day weekend. What are your thoughts on this bill passage?
Well, I agree with Allison. I wish we were having more single issue bills. When you pack a lot of stuff in these bills, a lot of stuff sort of gets lost in there, and you got 1,000 pages of things that people get really confused on, what's still in there, what got cut out of there. But at the end of the day, I say let's let President Trump cook. This was the bill that he wanted. There's some things in there that we're all going to disagree with. And we've been in this thing long enough to know that they're going to put in these bills things that we don't like. But I think it puts hope back on the menu. I think Washington is finally maybe getting a message of a reminder, if you will, of who they work for. And so when we call it the big, beautiful bill, I think at the end of the day, although we're spending money, we're saving money, we're putting money when we spend it in better places than what we have been. Maybe we're going to see some real shrinkage of the government and growing in the average citizen's wallet, cutting some red tape, slashing the waste, giving the American worker a fighting chance again. And so I do think this is an America First piece of legislation, maybe one of the best we've seen in decades, and it's just in time for Independence Day, which is great.
Yes, the timing couldn't be more perfect. You hit the nail right on the head, Chad, when you said this is going to put more money in the everyday American pocket. So many people are living paycheck to paycheck. That's so hard for people to make ends meet. We're starting to see gas prices come down at the lowest we've seen in years. Grocery prices are starting to come down. Now we're going to have, these paychecks that are going to have more money in it just because, the taxes. And so it's just great all around for the working American, and what a day for them to celebrate. And then also, Chad, the Social Security. I've spoken to several elderly people who are waiting for this day. They've been waiting for this day because they worked so hard for that money. They earned it. And so this is their time to get some extra money as well, because a lot of them, this is the only money they get every month.
Yeah, and if you listen to people like Chuck Schumer or Hakeem Jeffries, you're going to think that the apocalypse is upon us and millions of people are going to die because of this. But I say look at the scoreboard. We've spent trillions under the lie of, quote, helping the poor, and poverty still owns the same zip code. So this isn't about the cuts. It's about clarity. We're trimming bloated agencies. We're not turning our backs on anyone. We're building a ladder, not handing out crutches. I love what Allison said about personal responsibility. People need to go to work. And this bill is going to put power back in the hands of people. And I think that's the most compassionate thing that we can do at this time.
What are your thoughts on the several Republicans voting no? Don't you hate how, if there's one thing, Chad, that the Democrats can get right, is that they stick together no matter what. And I just feel like sometimes we cannot get it together in the Republican Party. Like, it's just a battle all of the time. And so we just mentioned it with Allison, was that President Trump spent the entire day yesterday on the phone trying to get those nays into yays. What are your thoughts on the couple of Republicans who still voted no?
Yeah, the Democrats definitely know how to circle the wagons. And at the end of the day, contrary to what MSNBC wants the public to believe, we're not running a cult, we're running a country. And you're always going to have a few people that flinch when the pressure's on. But look, 218 people stood tall. They voted the right way, I believe. They put America over their optics, over media tantrums, over re-election fears. And that's leadership. And now this bill's going to go to President Trump's desk right on time because he said he wanted it done by July 4th. He meant it. And I think that this body in Congress meant it as well. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a great opportunity for us to hit reset. Look, we've been run by the auto pen for the last 4 years. We've been on cruise control as a puppet administration was crashing the plane. And I think we're getting things back on track. Now I hope this Congress can get down to business of getting some of these executive orders President Trump has signed now pushed through legislation and into law.
Can't wait for it. Okay, I have to ask you about this. Elon Musk, What happened there? You know, you had this buddy system that we loved, and then now there's this clash, and then they made up, and now there's this clash again. Elon saying that the day that this bill is passed, he's starting a new party called the America Party because he's claiming that it'll raise the deficit. But I like what you just said because it's actually true, very true. You're not always going to get what you want in politics. You have to give some, you have to take some. It's a give and take process. And so we see that in this bill. And so what are your thoughts on Elon and his post the other night saying that he's going to start a new party?
Well, I think it's a bad optic and a bad angle for Elon to take. I think that look, I'll be the first one to tell you I don't like the system the way it is. Most of us don't like a two-party system. We would love to be able to have a person just campaign and you vote for the best quality candidate regardless of if they got an R or a D by their name. If you're going to bring in more parties like Elon is trying to do, all you're doing is slapping another logo or a bumper sticker on your car without changing the system. So if the root is faulty, you're just grafting in another branch that's ultimately going to be more swamp and more bureaucrat and more just Beltway, Washington, D.C. garbage with more permanent Washington. It doesn't really solve anything. I understand that there's a lot of people who are frustrated with the way things are going in this country. A lot of people on the right are very frustrated with, whatever label you're going to slap on it, whether it's the GOP Republicans, the old heads that have been there forever, or MAGA. You got a lot of people that are frustrated right now, and I appreciate that. But continuing to put more smoke when we're trying to push through the smoke right now, it's just not a good thing. I've always warned people, Elon Musk, smart guy, obviously he's a wealthy guy, he's a successful guy, but at the end of the day, he's not a conservative. He's just not woke. And there's a huge difference in that. Just because somebody's not woke and they say some of the things that you agree with from time to time doesn't mean they're a conservative. And I want to remind everybody of that. I mean, this was a guy who hasn't always been on the right side of things as far as I'm concerned with transhumanism or putting chips in our head or anything else in regards to that. So we got to listen with a grain of salt when things come out of Elon Musk's mouth.
Absolutely. And, I'm a fan of Elon. I think he's very successful, like you mentioned, and he's very intelligent. He's a genius, and he's great at what he does. However, I'm not sure if he's the perfect match for the political world, as we've seen, because if he doesn't get his way, he throws a temper tantrum. If we did that every day, I would be throwing temper tantrums all day on air, but you just can't do it. You have to just get out there and keep fighting for what you believe in. But maybe he'll learn in the process since he's new to this game, because Chad, he didn't come in and get into the political arena until after President Trump was shot on July 13th of last year in Butler, which is, minutes later that Elon came on and endorsed Trump. So he's fairly new here. And I just watch his posts when he makes these outlandish cries for a new party or going against Trump. But he gets attacked by MAGA. So in my opinion, if there is a new party, I think one's already been formed, and that is MAGA. What are your thoughts?
I agree with that, and I think we need to hold the line on that. I'm not a fan of labels across the board because I think that labels give them an opportunity to categorize us, and then they can file us away. And at the end of the day, we got to open up discussion and dialogue. As we head into Independence Day, I try to remind everybody, particularly my audience, that we're a nation that was founded not only by principles of debate and discussion and dialogue and disagreement, but we came back with these documents that we could kind of adhere to, come back to, find unity in, whether it was the Declaration of Independence or it was ultimately the Constitution and then the Bill of Rights. And we need to be able to have these conversations without being at each other's throats. And that's an unfortunate reality that we're living in. I don't know that we're going to be able to come back together ideologically, philosophically, or politically, certainly not spiritually. So we have a massive problem here that I think that prayer and a sense of seeking the divine providence of God once again, just like our founders did in this day and age, to maybe bring us back to a place where we can avoid not only tyranny, but the wokeism that has so infected our country and society for so long.
We have to bring back prayer, bring back God. And, I watch the younger generation, and I just pray that they have a healthy, lovely, peaceful world to live in once our days are done. Speaking of your audience, you mentioned your audience. I wanted to take people to your X account. I was just looking at it before the show. This was our big news for the day yesterday. I have to talk about alligator Alcatraz. It's all over your X. What are your thoughts about that? I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Well, You know, I love watching the left melt down the way that they are over this, because for some reason I think that they believe that prison and detention centers are supposed to be comfortable. This is a detention center. This is what it is. And they say that this is fiscally irresponsible. It's not. When you look at how much money, the billions of dollars that the Biden administration spent to have open borders, but then to not only fund but support these people who are in our country illegally, and now you're going to spend $450 million in the Everglades of Florida to set up a detention center. I think that's a bargain. I think that's a good deal. And God forbid we've enforced the law, right? I mean, look, this is something that Hakeem Jeffries referred to this morning as a deportation machine. Look, if that's the case, then we need more machines. I think this is a time where we've got to put Americans and their interests first. People are here who have broken the law. There's a consequence. That we've got enough problems in this country without importing more of them. So it's not about cruelty. And people say, well, it's not compassionate. Well, if you don't have justice, you can't have true compassion. This is about common sense. It's about sovereignty. It's about safety. It's about doing the right thing by the safety of the American people.
They're criminals. They didn't have compassion when they came in here and committed crimes. Most drug dealers, murderers, rapists, sexual assault, child molesters, that's not compassion. So I'm seeing, Chad, if you go back to the Obama administration and you saw these people in cages outside in the heat of the summer versus Alligator Alcatraz, where there's nice beds and air conditioning, if you compare the two, that's lots of compassion that we're giving them. Everyone's still a human being at the end of the day, and I don't think anyone's being mistreated. It's just that, hey, you're here illegally, you've committed some illegal crimes, we're going to put you here until we can deport you, and you have a nice bed to sleep in, you'll get 3 meals a day, and you have nice air conditioning. Can't beat that.
Yeah, and I love Trump's commentary. He never ceases to amaze me. He always makes me laugh talking about if you're going to escape, running a serpentine pattern. It's hilarious. He's the greatest comedian in the country right now. But listen, 65 degrees in those tents, and they're going to be taken care of. They're going to be just fine.
Yes, they will. All right, Chad, how can people follow you on X to see everything you're doing, and how can they listen to your show as well?
They can find the Chad Prather Show on Rumble as well as on YouTube and wherever podcasts are offered. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram and on X at WatchChad, the most vain handle you could possibly have. I don't know what you're watching me do, but watch Chad.
All right. Sounds good. Always a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by today. Enjoy your Independence Day and have a great 3-day weekend.
You as well. Thank you.
Well, President Trump is heading to Des Moines, Iowa for a huge rally. He'll be kicking off a series of events to celebrate America's 250th birthday. We have coverage going on right now on Lindell TV. So for those wanting regular programming, you're getting that right now with the Mike Lindell Show. Our daily shows are airing right now on Lindell TV and LindellTV.com. But for those of you wanting to watch the rally, we have added a special section for you on our website. Go to LindellTV.com. You'll see a live news and events tab, and then you'll see the tab for the rally. We're also streaming the rally live right now on Vocal, on the Vocal app, and also Vocal.com. Again, rally coverage has started right now. Crowds are already starting to pour in to see the president, so tune in to hear him speak tonight on Lindell TV. And more to come on the Mike Lindell Show, a sit-down interview with Mike Lindell and All Family Pharmacy, a healthy way to protect you and your family. That's next.
The last time President Trump was in office, gold soared 50% and silver went up a huge 53%. Americans who invested in silver and gold during Donald Trump's first presidency are very happy that they did it. And right now, gold continues to soar to the highest numbers in history. These gains are just an appetizer for what's to come. Some market analysts are saying that gold is predicted to rise another 30% in the next year alone. So now's the time to invest in gold and silver, and that's why I partnered with Fisher Liberty Gold. Fisher Liberty Gold is a conservative-owned and operated precious metals investment company. They even helped my good friend President Trump get elected through their contributions to Turning Point USA and other conservative groups. I have dedicated my life to ensuring that people get the best sleep ever, And in addition to owning a MyPillow, I can now sleep well at night knowing that you can all protect your savings with precious metals with Fisher Liberty Gold. With Fisher Liberty Gold, you can sleep well knowing that your retirement is secure. And if you call now, you're going to receive your very own presidential gold guide and qualify for up to $20,000 in free silver. But wait, there's more. Call now or text metals to 26786 to receive your presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty. And for a limited time, I will send you a free MyPillow for qualified accounts. This presidential gold guide from Fisher Liberty will tell you exactly why you need to own gold even while Donald Trump is president. And just by calling in, you get a free MyPillow for a limited time for qualified accounts and up to $20,000 in free silver. So don't wait. Call 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today. That's 1-888-4GOLD-19 or text metals to 26786 today to receive your free MyPillow and up to $20,000 in free silver.
Today's Bible verse for the day comes from the book of Chronicles, and it says this: "If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and heal their land." All right, we want to remind you, you can go to mypillow.com. mypillow.com. Do some shopping today to support Mike Lindell and use the promo code Vanessa while you're there to get extra savings. A mega sale is going on right now. You can also find a link to my store. There's Mike's My Cross, the energy drinks. Mike talks about how he won big. My Pillow did in the trial in Colorado, so you can click on that link there. So go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Vanessa for extra savings. There's also some flags on there, which would be great on holidays like Independence Day that's coming up. So go ahead and snag yours today. Go to mypillow.com. Help support Mike Lindell since he's been canceled by the big box stores, and it's you, the American people, that's keeping My Pillow alive and well, and we appreciate all of you for that. We have the Gateway to Healthier Living sharing that with you today. Here's Mike Lindell, an all-family pharmacy with ways to protect your health.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Lindell TV. And today we have with us Michael Kunzler, the co-founder of All Family Pharmacy, family-owned and operated, right, Michael?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll tell you, and you guys just saved me. We're going to get into what you have, and I know everybody knows I was just in a big trial in Colorado, and I wasn't feeling well, and you guys saved me, and I want to thank you for that. Get right out of the gate. And you guys, I don't get, you all know, I don't get behind anything unless I 100% am all in and believe in it. And I really believe in what you guys are doing. And so why don't we get into it? We're going to leave the website up the whole time here. We're talking, everybody, so you too can get involved and take advantage of this great family-owned pharmacy, all family pharmacy. So why don't you tell us, Michael, when you got started and what it is and why you got into this great business and helping people?
Sure. So we got this pharmacy right at the end of 2019, early 2020. Just so happened that the pandemic hit right as we got all of our regulation, all of our licensing set up for it. And we ended up getting in touch a little bit later that year with a company called America's Frontline Doctors. And they said, "Hey, are you a pharmacy who ships?" And we're like, "Yes, we do. We're licensed in, X amount of states. Are you willing to sell ivermectin for us?" I said, "Absolutely. We'll sell whatever you want as long as people want the drug." I mean, to us, we thought that was the norm, right? That's how we grew up. Whatever as an American, you have the freedom to choose what you need. And so we started dispensing for this telemedicine company, which was on all over Fox News, all over, all the platforms, whether it was good or bad. We dispensed the medication, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, antibiotics inhalers, you name it, anything somebody would need for COVID. And it became a huge success. And they started calling us, and they're like, well, you're the only pharmacy that answers the phone. You're the only one that I can talk to a pharmacist. You're the only one that'll help me get another prescription. None of these other pharmacies want to help me. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So my partner and I sat down and like, why don't we just bring a doctor on board? We can get them the prescription, we can dispense the medication, and we can do it in 2 to 6 days or less. If we're not busy, we were doing it in 2 to 3 days. If we're busy, it could extend up to 6 days. And we did that. We built a business because other people didn't want to help Americans. So we stepped up, we created All Family Pharmacy, and now here we are promoting on the Mike Lindell TV. So it's been a huge success, and we're proud of the company. We're proud to be where we are.
Well, I'm going to ask you a few questions that they gave me for you with our people that tune into Lindell TV. But I'll tell you, everybody, I want to interject a commercial within this. These guys are the real deal, and it's real. It helped me. I mean, what timing? You talk about perfect timing. When I was out there in Colorado, one of the most important trials for the country, I believe, and I got well real fast, and the other thing too is I really believe in your company. What perfect timing for you guys when the virus came and you had everything in place. I mean, that's like divine appointment there. I mean, that's amazing. And so now where we're sitting now, and now we all know what ivermectin and all these other things can actually do. I think we knew it then. They just tried to suppress it. I was very much involved in. I had other things going on with when the virus came in, and I had something that actually worked, and they just suppressed me and attacked me. And did you guys go through all that too, or were you able, because you were out ahead of it, were you able to? Was there any problems back then, or did they come after you at the frontline doctors like we know they all did, just trying to stop this from this great stuff from coming out?
Yeah, we faced a lot of pressure. The pressure could come from regulators. The pressure could come from numerous sources, doctors. It could even be family members. We've had family members call social services on other family members because they wanted ivermectin, and whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, we're here to take care of Americans and Americans only. We're a licensed pharmacy, we're a licensed medical provider, and that's what our duty is as an American pharmacy. So we're always going to have pressure, and the pressure could be in numerous amounts of ways. We actually had to close one of our pharmacies in the past because of pressure with America's frontline doctors, and it was kind of sad to watch and see it unfold. But we're in the great state of Florida where we've always been, and this state protects us. They've always protected us. Governor DeSantis protected us during COVID. He didn't let us shut our doors. He kept us open. He gave us the ability to operate, and we did it. We did it through all the variants of COVID when people were forced to shut their doors, and we were able to stay open. So that was great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm reading some of these questions here. The problems here, you talk about insurance companies that own their pharmacies. Is that a problem? I mean, how does insurance work with you guys? Follow us through. I mean, but I see some of these questions here that why are insurance companies even allowed to own pharmacies in the first place? Isn't that kind of conflict of interest?
It's a big conflict of interest, and it's something that the American does not know. CVS, your local pharmacy, there are thousands of stores nationwide. They own Aetna, and they own Caremark. Caremark is a PBM, and so is Aetna. PBM is a pharmaceutical benefits manager that was put into place to keep drug costs low. But what did it do? It drove the cost of drugs up. If you come to a pharmacy like myself and I were to take your insurance, they would pay us for a generic drug like a blood pressure medication that cost me $5. They would pay us maybe $8. They would tack on a 12% fee, so I'd have to pay them 12% back for dispensing that medication. But if that same patient were to go to a CVS, they would dispense them up to 3 to 5 times more, not charging them the fee. So you can see why drugs have gone up in price over the years. And insurance companies are one of the biggest problems that people don't want to talk about because obviously they're lobbyists and they own a lot of politicians. So people are scared to talk about them. But, we're not scared. We're not contracted with any insurance carrier. We don't take insurance. And the reason for that is pricing transparency and medical freedom. We want you to be able to choose the medication that you feel is best for you and not the insurance. So
that's it. And that's something I so believe in, everybody. We just went. I've seen this even over the past 3 weeks. I had a loved one that I went to a Walgreens and there was the insurance price on this thing was outrageous. It was like let's say $1,700, and then even the copay was like $600. Then the guy gave this form and he said, "Well, if you go sign up with this big pharma, if you sign up with it, now you're going to get another $300 off." But now they got your name. I mean, it was just a whole thing. I'm out in the car going, "But this is just a big scam to get you tied into them, these big insurance companies and these and big pharma." And one of the things too, I have a friend of mine that just got diagnosed with a very serious, and I told him, I said, you need to go outside your insurance company and see what's out there. And because insurance company, you're in a box. You really are put in a box. They're gonna pay this much, but also they're not gonna pay for this drug or this drug because they have and especially when they're in collusion, when they're their own pharmacy. What do you think they're gonna sell you? Oh, we cover this, but we don't cover this. And this works with doctors, it works with everything. It's disgusting. I think what you're doing is so good for the country and for people in general to help with all this. I know the media has spent years calling ivermectin misinformation just because it's being used off-label. I think with ivermectin in particular, it has so many traits that are so good. And boy, you just look at the attack Big Pharma did on that drug alone, and now it's all coming out, and people are going, think of the lives that could have saved, the things that could have been, and Len, on that drug alone. And by the way, on your pharmacy, do you have all different things? I know I kind of focus on the ivermectin because it's like there's so many things. I know people that have taken it for other things too, not just for when they had COVID. But can you say a little bit of is your pharmacy, you have all different things, or is it a limited thing that you choose to do that wasn't usually available out there?
Yeah. I just want to circle back on one point. You talked about going to the pharmacy and with your insurance, and the drug costs $1,600. Your copay or your deductible $600, and then you have to sign up for a manufacturer's coupon to get a check in the mail 4 weeks later for a couple $100. Do you know that there's a law called a no gag clause that when you walk into a pharmacy and you tell them you have insurance, you legally have to go through your insurance? That pharmacy could have a cash pay for $1,200 where you could save $400 out of your own pocket by paying for the drug cash, and they cannot sell you that drug cash the minute you tell them you have insurance. So the insurance is owning the game just based on these no gag clauses where the pharmacist cannot say, well, we also have a cash price that's a couple $100 cheaper if you just pay us with a credit card right now and we dispense the drug.
Right.
You can't do that. So it's a sad thing to watch. But RFK Jr., he's fighting that right now with the prior auths. That's one thing that they're trying to get rid of. But circling back to the pharmacy, we carry over 300 drugs. We're constantly adding new medications. So the new ones, the major ones that we love, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, antibiotics, mebendazole we have methylene blue, which is the RFK Jr. drug again too as well. I take methylene blue, and I also take another one called NAD+. I think NAD+ is the future with methylene blue. This is for cellular support, stabilized energy throughout the course of the day, mind focus. There are so many Americans out there that are just drinking coffee all day long. And at the end of the day, the fatigue kicks in, the acid reflux kicks in, all the other problems with drinking too much caffeine kicks in. NAD+ is one of the newest drugs on the market, supplements, I should say, because it's naturally occurring in your body. It's huge. We love the combination of NAD plus and methylene blue, especially for those hardworking Americans who need their mind, who need their focus through the day. They also need energy. We work 40, 50 hours a week. We don't take off. We don't live on state income. We don't live on, welfare. We don't do any of that. We want to work every day. These medications are there to support you. Outside of those drugs, we do have everything else. We have your blood pressure, your maintenance meds. A lot of our drugs are very cheap. You can come and get a 90-day supply of your blood pressure medication for $25. And then if you use one of the coupons, 10 to 20% off, it's only $20. You can't even get that through insurance for that cheap. So, we offer these services for a reason. Everybody should have a little extra medication in their cabinet in case something were to happen. So much going on with wars, so much going on with politics. Everybody's fighting over everything. The traditional American needs to have medication in their cabinet for a peace of mind, to make sure that they're ready for when something happens.
Right, and proactive medication. You guys, I was taking that methylene blue since you sent it to me. Now, what was the other one that I should add to that?
NAD plus. Nobody knows about it.
Right. And I'm telling you guys, by the way, everybody, go right now to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. I'm telling you, another good thing I want to say about your company, this was so easy. I got the order, it came to me, and it's so self-explanatory. You had a nice thing written there. Here, do take this, and it wasn't like you had to grab glass and go, get on the bottle and you're all, flustered of what I should take. I really like the way you guys lay it all out, and it's beautiful. And you go, okay, I'll take this, and this. And I really believe there's not too many right out of the gate that I believe in the companies and the products, but you guys are it. I'm telling you. I'm very excited. I'm going to be taking that NAD plus with those things, you get more clarity. That's what I'm getting, right? It's kind of it helps brain clarity, correct?
Yeah, cognitive effects. And it's also got neuroprotective properties. So it's going to protect the cells in your brain. It just keeps them going. It doesn't allow them to die off. That's where people end up getting Alzheimer's. They end up getting some of these major neurological problems, dementia, obviously, number one. Methylene blue, NAD plus are always going to be around. It's for cellular support. And again, one of the things we talk about with cancer is cancer cells kill healthy cells. How do you keep cells alive? Methylene blue could be a great supportive system where you're keeping your cells alive. It's allowing that ATP energy to run through those cells, mitochondrial support. These are big, big groundbreaking medications that could be the future, and there are more to come. We're already seeing it in the pipeline. You can go to the FDA trials. You can take a look at all the manufacturers. But methylene blue and NAD plus, those are two very, very popular medications we've recently added over the course of the last few months. My staff loves them. Our patients are calling now and they're refilling them, and they're truly, truly enjoying them. Again, methylene blue you can get over the counter. It comes in a liquid. It could stain your kitchen. It could stain the cups you use. It could stain your teeth. We do it in a capsule. Nice little capsule. You pop it first thing in the morning. It might take 15 minutes longer to kick in or 30 minutes longer to kick in, but there's no mess.
No, absolutely. And I can attest to that, everybody, because I know someone that was taking the liquid form, and you go, what happened to you? But these capsules are awesome. You guys, I can't say enough about this company and these products. It solves so many things. You can get the things you need to be proactive. You get the things that you need to avoid the insurance companies and avoid big pharma that tells you got to take this. We're only offering you this. And these guys are great. I've done my due diligence, family owned and operated. I think you all need to go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. You guys get on board with this. I am. I believe in it, and you're going to hear a lot more of this because, Michael, I'm here to stay. So you guys here at Lindell TV, I'm very careful who I pick for sponsors. I used to just have my pillow, getting great sleep, but I'll tell you what, you guys, we now we have place we can be proactive in our health and in our thinking. We all got to get great sleep, and we've got to stay healthy. And this is the answer I've been looking for Michael. So I want to thank you for even though I know you had a lot of pushbacks and a lot of over the last 5 years where you've had different setbacks, but you guys kept it going, and you were one of the most needed thing to fight. I went up against Big Pharma. I know what it's like, and it is horrific. I'm still fighting Big Pharma for going back 5 years right now, and a couple other things. But so you guys have stayed the course to help people, and God bless you, and we're going to get you back on soon. Do they guide us through when they go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell? What are they going to find there? Or what can they, is there I'm the customer right now and I call it, what are they going to get? Or what are they going to get? Your website, and they'll guide it through and.
Yeah, so we have a couple different options. Option A would be you can order on the website. Option B, you can call us. We have licensed technicians answering the phones. These are pharmacy techs. They're licensed. They know what they're doing. They're backed behind our pharmacists when it comes to information. So you have the full ability to talk to our pharmacists when you purchase medications from us. But when you get to the website, we have two different areas. We have the ivermectin page only, where there are people that are just looking specific for ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, any type of COVID flu support. We have Tamiflu on there. We have antibiotics. We have rescue inhalers. We have steroids. We have steroid packs. We have tons of meds. So you can just scroll through to see what you need, based on your lifestyle, how you live. I like to play a little bit of sports now, even though I'm a little bit older. I have a Medrol dose pack in my cabinet. If I roll my ankle playing basketball, I've got a 5-6 day course or 7 day course, and the inflammation's gone within a week or two. Instead of having to go to a podiatrist, takes a week to get an appointment, and then they prescribe it, and then you got to fight in line at CVS, and everybody at CVS, getting their flu test or their COVID test, or they're doing something there because they're sick. There's a reason why they're there. We have it ready to go. So you can just place the order online. You can also do it over the phone with one of our licensed technicians. We put you in touch with the doctor. We give them all the medical information you give us. We ship it FedEx 2-day. Our FedEx is very fast, very reliable. Obviously, when it comes to snowstorms, there's not much we can do, but FedEx is outside of that is very reliable. We offer next day service as well. So we could ship it to you overnight. You get it before 12:30 p.m., especially if you're sick. But we encourage you to order before you get sick. Don't wait till it's too late.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there you hear it, guys. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell, and you're going to hear a lot more from Mike and Michael here. Mike and Mike. Michael,
Perfect.
God
Thank
bless
you.
you. And it's been an honor meeting you, and I can't thank you enough for helping me out and getting through that trial in Colorado. I couldn't have done it with all the stuff you sent me. It was like perfect timing. And I just had a relative too that needed a lot of the stuff. We've almost went through all that package that I got my order. So I'll be ordering more today, and all of you out there should too. We've got to push back on Big Pharma. We're not going to let the insurance companies and Big Pharma tell us what's good for us anymore. We make our own choices, and now we have an option, and this option is awesome. Thank you, Michael, and God bless, and we'll have you on very soon.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. You have a wonderful day.
You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning. I'm pointing to Mike Lindell. That man suffered. That man suffered. The FBI thugs went up to him and they took away everything he had. He suffered. And Mrs. Lindell.
Then you guys come up and serve me papers in Colorado.
What is this? Sir, what is this?
My Pillow guy Mike Lindell says the lawsuit is a sham.
How dare him come and sue My Pillow?
They went after him. It was just terrible. This was a vicious weaponization of your government. But I'll tell you, he stood up. He's all man. He stood up strong.
Do I think you guys and them are a traitor to our country by what you did to My Pillow? Yes. We are made in America.
Lindell says he's lost hundreds of millions of dollars.
And nothing was going to faze him. And I want to thank you on behalf of everybody. Mike, you put up with a tremendous amount.
How do you guys sleep at night? You obviously don't have a My Pillow. That's a fact.
He's a great guy.
Swollen limbs, joint pain, inflammation, skin aging, and cognitive decline. These are just a few of the awful side effects that you can experience due to poor blood circulation. And popping ibuprofen is not a solution to the pain. It's only temporary relief, and it's only masking the true problem, which is inflammation. Researchers are saying to add this Antarctic super nutrient to your diet. I'm talking about omega-3 fatty acids, but not just any form of omegas. These particular omega-3 fatty acids are sourced from wild-caught krill. Has been shown to support healthy blood pressure, circulation, brain health, as well as reduce inflammation, swelling, and joint pain. For a limited time, you can grab Native Path Antarctic Krill Oil for up to 66% off plus free shipping. Just go to getkrill.com/Lindell right now to get your special offer. Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stock extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nirvanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at nirvantahealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nirvanta instead and experience the difference. Go to nirvantahealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nirvanta Health. Live well naturally.
Friends, we all know the truth. Big Pharma and the federal bureaucracy have made a mess of healthcare in this country, and boy, that's an understatement. President Trump signed an executive order to bring prices down, and that's a great step. But we know that real change takes time. There's one pharmacy that is already stepping up. I want to tell you about All Family Pharmacy. They're not waiting. They're taking action now with a summer sale that gives you the power to take control of your health. Right now, through the end of June, you get 20% off site-wide, no insurance required. Did you hear that? 20% off site-wide, no insurance required. They work with licensed doctors in all 50 states, and they ship fast straight to your door. Whether it's ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, methylene blue, antibiotics, emergency kits, or your daily prescriptions, this is a time to stock up. If you believe in medical freedom, if you're tired of waiting for someone else to fix things, do what I do. Take action. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell and use promo code Lindell20, Lindell 20 for 20% off your entire order. That's allfamilypharmacy.com, Lindell. Promo code Lindell20. Let's protect our families, defend our freedom, and make America healthy again together.
Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? Well, I recently saw a video he made and I was shocked. That guy's amazing and he's staying active well into his 80s. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger, her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a very special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/Lindell. It will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/Lindell. You won't believe how simple it is.